What is going on, everyone? Chris here with another video, and today's video is basically the video that I've been wanting to make for the longest time. I'm back in Virginia, of course. The last video I made, if you saw it, it is the previous video on the channel. I was in Texas for work, and I stopped by Late Model Restoration. I got to see basically the inside of the place, kind of, sort of, and went to Will Call a couple times to pick up some parts when I was there, because it was only about a 45-minute drive. And I thought it'd be cool to see, instead of just ordering the stuff there, and for it to be shipped to the house. So I hope, if you did see that video, I hope you enjoyed the little, like, the front kind of room and seeing the wheels and stuff that they had on display and everything. But as you know, you can tell from basically the caption photo, the thumbnail of this video, I found a Coyote motor. I will get into that briefly. So basically, the next chapter of this progress or whatever is just getting everything together. Basically, we don't really need anything else. Once the whole motor and transmission situation is together, we'll figure out what we're gonna do with the fuel system. Probably just upgrade it anyways. That's not even a headache to do really whatsoever. It will be a 4 innovation system. And I'll basically, behind me, what I'm gonna show you is basically all the parts that I've gathered since I left for Texas back in late April into now. It's basically late May. So I've been home for about a week or so it's been a good little bit since I made a video. So let's go ahead and break this down. All right, so here is a bunch of stuff. Basically, this is all for the transmission. You can see, like, the bearings, the ARP bolts, and just miscellaneous stuff. Nothing really super important. And actually, I need to keep these. These are actually brakes. So I actually went ahead and just bought new everything for the car because, well, it's been sitting for 2 years, and the sad part is the brakes I ordered are rusted at this point. So instead of fighting that, we're just going to go ahead and just throw some new ones on. Of course, the gaskets, sadly, needed new header gaskets. Anyways, the old ones were just still new, but we're just going to buy everything new. I went with a McLeod light and steel flywheel and a McLeod Super Street Extreme clutch. That's basically the setup I had before the first time around that I did a Coyote swap. This wasn't necessarily the first clutch I had. I think I had one, honestly I forgot, but it was a McLeod setup. So I've basically run nothing but McLeod except for the last time when nothing ran, and that was a spec clutch. So, but yeah, just brake hardware and stuff. As you know, I have the 0304 Cobra front brake kit setup that I upgraded back in 21 to the fronts, and the rest is, the rears are just the stock GTs. So this is basically, this is the ultimate header. I'm hoping to use this. These are the ultimate header clamps I won on the live stream that Alex has. So I got those shipped when I was in Texas, and I won on the live stream, I believe, while I was in Texas, or a week before I left. Just stuff like this. This is the McLeod. Everything basically is McLeod except for the Ford racing throw bearing. That's the oil tube or whatever for the T56. So it's really exciting. Like, we have the connection wires. We have bushings for I need to replace for the rear, the upper axles. Never did that. But just miscellaneous stuff like this. So this is basically just a rundown of a majority of the parts I have, and the rest of it's in the car. All right, so we're gonna break down basically what it came down to buying a Coyote motor. So for the past month or so, when I was in Texas, of course I searched everywhere when I was in Texas to see if I could find one or get lucky. There was a certain price point that I wanted to basically fluctuate in. It was in around the $5,000 area, and it's, to me, back in 2016, that Coyote motor, brand new from Ford, so it was a crate motor from Ford, control pack, all that. So I still have the control pack. I got a really good deal, $6,600, I believe, from Tasca Ford. It was kind of a word of mouth Facebook group kind of thing back in 2016. So when Facebook was more popping on kind of stuff like that. So there was a guy that had, hopefully, I don't even know this guy. I doubt this guy watches the channel anyways, but there's a guy that had for $6,500, which is actually a pretty good deal if you think about it. He had a donor car that he had posted up. It was for an S550. Basically, the car was pretty cut up, and the airbags for the seats and stuff were deployed, but he had, like, the center console, and it was basically a full drop-in, like MT82, and it was around like 60-something thousand miles on the Coyote. It had been sitting on there for, I want to say, a couple weeks or whatever, so I offered him, you know, we just didn't meet in terms. He basically wanted to sell the whole thing. I don't want to take apart, you know, a transmission that I don't need and just have a bunch of miscellaneous stuff from a car that I don't really have time to sell, and I don't want to be, you know, just trying to hassle and sell parts when I'm already pretty busy and I'm just trying to get this car, you know, I just want the motor and to get the car basically finessed together and how I want it. So it's just, there's just like way too much stuff on the plate to basically just come to an agreement to buy, you know, a donor car, which in the end I could have made my money back, because I offered right around $5,500, and I was like, hey, you know, we can meet, you know, if we can do that. The guy didn't want to take it. He kind of was like firm, $6,500, come and get it. And basically, like I said, I feel like I wouldn't have had time, and it was just, there was too much going on with stuff like that. So fast forward to when I get back home, basically that ad was taken down. So I thought the guy had sold it. There's a guy pretty local to me that I had been talking to for here a little while, actually, for about a month or so. Like I said before, he had a really good deal on a Coyote motor, Gen 2, low mileage. The guy that he got the motor from previously made 1,000 on it, and I think made like a couple passes down the track. It came from a 2015 S550, so I know it's a Gen 2, and it has the upgraded TSS oil pump, or OPG, sorry, oil pump gear and crank sprocket. So both those are upgraded, which necessarily I wouldn't need even with the power that I want to make or with the power router. But it's nice to know that like the motor is clean. We took the valve covers off, everything's super clean. Guy's real honest, and he wanted around like 7 something for it, so a little over $7,000, or it might have been just right at $7,000. So I didn't want to come up off it, the money like that, which, you know, I could have, but at the same time, my thing was I wanted a factory sealed motor, because if you buy from like a factory sealed motor from a junkyard, you know that nobody basically has been in there, touched anything, and something could go wrong. You know, I don't want to be the type of person that says, you know, you drive the car for a couple thousand miles and then something blows up, and then you just start messaging this guy like, hey, you know, not that I would, but a lot of people probably would, and be like, well, you were the last one that touched the motor and you took it apart and I bought it from you, so I want my money back. And just the kind of conflict kind of stuff, you know, I avoid drama and stuff like that, so I just wanted to stay out of that and have a clear headspace. But so the person that I bought the motor from, it was actually the same motor that he was selling previously. And I guess the other guy that I traded, really cool guy. I talked to him for a little bit, and I drove to North Carolina and went and picked it up. So basically it was the same motor, and I believe he kind of decided to not go with the Coyote swap. Something, I don't know the whole story, but he just didn't want to do it. So basically I got the same motor for right around a little over $4,000. Let's just put it that way. So I got a really good, hell of a deal. The only downside with this is I gotta basically either finagle everything from the old motor I had in the car and put it onto this motor, and basically I think that I would do it anyways. Basically I have to buy all new sensors. So everything with the motor, the whole power by the hour kit I have and stuff like that, I'm basically just buying like new cam sensors, and just every sensor you can think of, I'm just going to put on there brand new, so we don't have any headaches. But definitely from a couple friends or whatever, and I talked to the previous guy that was selling the motor, basically a rundown of history, and I basically, in my headspace, I think it's clear that it's basically, I think I got the better option. Of course, it's a little cheaper. I don't have to sit here and try to sell parts that I don't want or need. And at the same time, this motor is basically a low mileage. I know what's been done to it. And, you know, basically everybody kind of vouched for this dude, was like, hey, you know, this guy wouldn't screw you over. You know, he wouldn't fuck you over or anything. So just go with that. And that kind of just clicked in the back of my mind, you know, when I basically went to pick up the motor and I was driving back. So I had a 2-hour drive back, a little over 2 hours. I just kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like I made the right decision, the better choice. Like I said, patience is a virtue. If you want to say God works in mysterious ways, I feel like, you know, not that I feel like, but I think I kind of got lucky here. You know, I found a T56 for a really good price, and I found this Gen 2 Coyote motor for a really good price. So basically, guys, I'm gonna show the motor, of course. I gotta head over to where it is. And basically, this is where we're at. The car is coming together, hopefully, and this time around, I pray that nothing happens, but I have a really good, feeling about this. I think I did it right, and we're gonna get this channel popping and rolling, and just a bunch of Coyote content. And that way, when this car is basically on the road and out of the way, we can focus on a power adder to it, and we could just do so much more with this channel. Making this kind of like this channel, the hobby, like I've always said, I just do this for a hobby. I think it's kind of cool to do on the side, and I think there's just so much in the future potential. So we're gonna head over and check it out. All right, guys, there you go. Basically, it is a Coyote motor. Ready to have everything put on it, and ready to be dropped in and paired with the T56 as I drop off parts. So nothing exciting, but it was exciting to finally get this car going. So that'll be it. All right, guys, there you go. There's just a little preview of the motor. Basically, like I said in the beginning of this video, we're gonna have to basically just chase everything down that we have to put back on the motor. As you saw, basically it's just a bare motor without sensors and stuff, the best way to put it. But it's not gonna be hard to do all that. Probably just hit up like Task of Ford or maybe LMR or something like that. Just track down all the sensors I need. Not too much stuff, but we're headed definitely in the right direction. So I appreciate every single one of you stopping by to check out this video. Definitely long overdue, the one type of video I wanted to make. And the most long overdue will be like the car starting and stuff like that. But we'll get to that and get into that once we get there. But I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.